Welcome to Monday's Anxiety. It is championship week. The finish line was right there. Somehow, the studs we trusted tripped right over it. Who failed you when it mattered most? Who carried you to the title? Were you one play away from glory? One decision away from regret? This is it. The last anxiety of the year. Championships were won. Hearts were broke. We're here to talk about it. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Therapy Session here on Club Fantasy FFL, better known as Monday's Hangxiety. Make sure you're dropping those bright spots in the chat. Let's flaunt those wins. Also, if you have a chance to win, what do you need tonight? Let us know. Let us know. I want to bring this up before we even get into it because if y'all, I don't know if Ryan wants to repeat his exact verbiage. Okay. But Brock Purdy did lose a championship for somebody today.
So what I said was, and I have no problem. I have no shame. We've learned this over the years. Josh was bitching that Brock Purdy beat him in a championship, which sucks. But the Club Fantasy Show was riding the Brock Purdy dick all week. So I am very happy that he went off when we told everybody to start him over anybody except Trevor Lawrence, who also balled out once again. So I would say we gave excellent advice this week.
Yeah. Outside of the make sure you do not play Audric Estime, because he kind of went off yesterday too.
He had 132-yard touchdown run. Let's be honest. Going off is a little far-fetched.
Well, when you compare it to the other running backs.
I was going to say, there were other, literally 19 running backs scored 10 fantasy points. You could have started a top 24 running back and gotten less than 10 fantasy.
I also want to give Joel Worth some Saturday credit. Joel Worth said that Malik Willis was playing for a job. Malik Willis is about to get paid, folks. Plain and simple. So,
you remember my question as he said that on Saturday was, do I play Malik Willis or do I play Quinn Ewers? Yeah. And not for anything. Quinn Ewers was decent.
Yeah.
Of course, he was playing the fucking Bucs, so not hard. Malik Willis absolutely fucking nutted up and went off.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal to watch.
I was doing a lot of research for the show this morning. Christian Watson, like I said, Joel was big in on Christian Watson. I think the only person who went off, and this is a Ryan problem, I did not think Michael Wilson was going to go off against that Bengals defense, which was just stupid on my part to think that MHJ was actually healthy.
So Jamar Chase scores the first 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, fuck, because I actually bet on Chase Brown to score 2 touchdowns. And I'm like, of course, I picked the wrong fucking Bengal.
No, you did not.
And then Chase Brown goes and scores 2 fucking touchdowns. I'm like, okay.
At least you didn't spend all week telling people to bet on a Pittsburgh Steelers running back trio of touchdowns when they can't score a touchdown.
That was terrible. That was a rough game.
Well,
and you know what, Ryan? We should have thought about that.
Oh, 100%.
Not one in Pittsburgh and now 7 seasons.
Yeah. On the show sheet, it clearly states, let's shoot the shit. I'm glad we waited till week 17
to listen, or to not listen, rather.
To not listen. At least we know where we're at. Who helped you? Who helped sink your season? Put those in the chat as well. Man. Ryan, let's just jump right into the recap. I see the chat popping off. We'll get to those in just a second. Ryan, hit that recap for us.
Yeah, no problem at all. We go all the way back to Thursday. 3 games on Christmas. Dallas Cowboys 30, Washington Commanders 23. Kind of went the way we expected it to. This one did not go the way we expected it to. Minnesota Vikings 23, Detroit Lions 10. Jared Goff looked like ass. And then the night finishes up with Bo Nix squeaking by a depleted Kansas City Chiefs teams 20-13. And then we got Saturday action because the main slate needed to be minuscule this week. I think there were 2 4 o'clock games. Texans 20, Chargers 16, kind of what we got, what we expected in that game. And then Ravens put it to the Packers 41-24. Though Malik Willis looked really good, as I've mentioned. Dolphins 20, Buccaneers 17 as Jay's piss poor season continues. Drake Maye 42, the Jets 10. What a game by Drake Maye. What a terrible game by the Jets. So we'll see who gets fired next Monday. Browns 13, Steelers 6. Ugly game. Chargers 23, Colts 17, Saints 34, Titans 26, Seahawks 27, Panthers 10. Ugly game by the Panthers there, which keeps Jay's Buccaneers in contention. Bengals beat down the Cardinals 37-14. I predicted this game to a T, that the Giants were not tanking. 34-10. More on that game later as Josh gloats. Eagles squeak by the Buffalo Bills in what Chris Molina says is the most entertaining 13-12 game he has ever seen. 49ers Bears got real interesting after halftime. 80 points scored, 42-38, and week 17 in your fantasy season wraps up tonight with the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
We'll talk more about CMC, I'm sure, throughout the next couple of weeks. But did you see right before the half last night, he got the first time in his career that he had 100 yards rushing in the first half of a game, and then immediately gets the ball back and loses like 3 yards. And Tarico was like, yeah, I'm glad I got that stat out before he did that. Let's pull one out real quick. RIP to the season. These players shit the bed in week 17. Appreciate that. We'll start off with the quarterback. We just spoke about Jared Goff, 2.1 fantasy points. Sam Darnold, 6.1 fantasy points. Jalen Hurts, 8.9. Interesting. Any comments on any of those three? Josh, why are you shaking your head? Thank you, Jalen.
Every time I want to think that the Eagles are doing something because that defense has looked so good
again
since the trade deadline. Their offense just can't fucking figure it out. Like, this Bills team, you can do whatever you want to this Bills team. And they put up 13 points. They didn't even throw the ball in the second half.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Congratulations to Britt Flynn on her championship as Jalen Hurts does nothing in the second half.
Good God.
They had some nice pass plays in that first half too that just didn't.
And I'm quickly answer this from Scott. Yes, they can and probably will be one and done in the playoffs.
Is Scott Cobe a Joe Zolo burner account? No, because Joe Zolo literally said this to Josh in the text.
I've been saying it for months. Like, our defense has looked good, which is great. Like, it is a championship caliber defense, but it doesn't fucking matter if you can't score points on offense.
There is one way the Eagles don't go one and done.
They play the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers. But they won't be playing the Bucs. They won't be, because if you guys, the only way you guys get in the playoffs is if you win the division. You're going to have a home game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're going to be. Doesn't matter what home or not. We're losing.
Yeah. We're going to be the 3 seed, and honestly, we're probably going to end up with one of the NFC West teams, whether it's a Rams rematch, the Seahawks, whomever.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay and Philly are likely, and I don't want to say likely for Tampa Bay, the NFC South winner and Philly are likely to be 3 and 4. So ranked. So
or we get the Packers again.
Yeah.
So as far as running backs go, Josh Jacobs 1.3, Chuba Hubbard 2.8, Jahmyr Gibbs 6.4, Jalen Warren 6.4. Tyrone Tracy, 6.7. Saquon Barkley, 6.8. This one hurts. Kenneth Gainwell, 6.8. We were talking him up pretty heavy. Kyle Monangai, 7.7. Travion Henderson, 8.2. And James Cook, 8.7.
In all honesty, at this list, all of this was very predictable except for Steelers running backs and Saquon Barkley. But, like, you look at some of the big names on this list. Josh Jacobs was hurt. Travion Henderson was hurt. Mm-hmm. The Eagles have an excellent run D. So I wasn't expecting 8 points out of James Cook. But still, San Francisco's run D has stepped up. Saquon Barkley should have feasted. Tyrone Tracy was just the wrong running back in this game.
I was going to say, freaking Jackson Dart scores 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
Singletary gets in. And I was so big on Tyrone Tracy this week.
Yep.
So big that I set him in my lineup and completely forgot that I also had Ramondre Stevenson. Why the fuck didn't I switch them out?
Well, who would have thought that I could have won a championship if I had played Ramondre over Jonathan Taylor? Like, that's just not how you expect things to go.
Well, yeah, and Ryan, we got that question on Saturday, Parker Washington or Nico Collins, and we all fucking laughed. Guess who's laughing? Parker fucking Washington.
Oh, yeah, we owe the Parker Washington crowd a huge apology. It was mildly predictable. One thing I'm noticing, I got to see a lot of that game this week. They are running 4 wide. And they do not care like who they're throwing the ball to. Parker Washington was on. I would love to know his snap counts if anyone has easy access to it. It felt like he was on the field the entire game. And Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what the fuck clicked for Trevor Lawrence on Thanksgiving. And he must have been visited by 3 ghosts because all of a sudden he is just spreading the ball around and he is taking the open and doing all the shit he should have been doing his entire career. He looks like a different person. I'm happy to see it. I wanted to believe in this kid. I hope I get to see a similar page turn for Bryce Young next year. So
81% snap share for Parker Washington. Not sure exactly how many snaps that is, but 81.
That's wild. Like but for Parker Washington to play 81% of the snaps on a team that has Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas Jr., Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne. Now, Bashal Tutin was out, and I'm guessing that probably helped this situation. So.
But again, that's 2 different positions.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The way they've been using it, I feel like when I've been watching Jags games, Tutin has been in the backfield, and we'll see Etienne in the slot sometimes. And so I feel like that kind of opened things up here. So,
Yep. Wide receivers to note, Jalen Waddle, 0.7. He
didn't even have a reception. He had a 7-yard carry.
He did get injured, I believe, early in the game, but he did come back and play. So DJ Moore, 1.7. With as much passing that was going on at that Chicago 49ers game, DJ Moore, 1.7. Michael Pittman Jr., he did get injured as well, 3.6. Yep. Lad McConkey imploded with 4.1. Devontae Smith, who we've talked about the Eagles, 4.5. Jamison Williams, 5.7. Justin Jefferson, a very good 7 points compared to what he's been putting up.
I was gonna say I had to put him on the list though because he popped last week, right? Popped. So everybody's like, "Oh, back on the Justin Jefferson bandwagon." Yeah.
Jacoby Myers 7.9, Cortland 7, Sutton 8, Nico Collins we just talked about 8.7 wide receivers. Oof. Well, Josh put on there that only
3 that top 10 points.
I was going to say you put on there that only 19 running backs scored. You did not put on how many wide
there was
receivers.
More. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to. There was more. But yeah, this honestly, this was just a very low scoring fantasy week. It felt like
it was championship week.
Yeah.
Tight ends, Darren Waller, 1 point. Dalton Schultz, 4.9. Jake Ferguson, he did get in the end zone, did get injured, 7.6. And Brendan Strange.
I had to put him on the list.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I mean, he should have had 14 plus.
The correct answer was Juwan Johnson. And the second correct answer was Harold Fannin, who played, I think, 3 plays, but literally stopped, drop, and rolled into the end zone and did what he needed to do to have a productive fantasy week. So,
all right, guys, before we get to the man,
actually, hold on. I want to throw one thing up real quick because it kind of goes into how we do this show. Zach said we need to show some love to King Henry, and I don't disagree. We have really tried to focus this show on Sunday's action. That's just kind of how we've always been. I mean, it was a Saturday game, but Derrick Henry went the fuck off. He did not make the thumbnail, but Derrick Henry went the fuck off, plain and simple.
Quick question for you. Who finally figured out that giving him the ball was a good idea? 38 carries.
Shit. Well, the calendar turned over. Once it became December.
It's been December.
The calendar turned over, but also, too, when Lamar's out, the team says, oh, shit, Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley? Yeah, we know the Pro Bowl's fake if he's in it. So, yeah, that's what it boiled down to.
So, yeah, you're not going to see a lot of us. We're not going to spend a lot of time on Saturday games, though I kind of should have. But, when I did the sheet, I kind of stayed on the Sunday games. And so no love for Derrick Henry. Well deserved. I mean, it's December. It's kind of expected. But he went the fuck off.
And Index says it best. It was a week late.
Yes, 100%.
100, yep. Let's get over to the chat as we're bringing these up. Quincy, what's up, goats? Just want to say thanks again.
Hopefully you finish that undefeated season, homie.
Yeah, it's the only
Sounds
thing
like
that
the
matters.
title was won right there. Caesar faced Jacobs and thought I was good. 85% chance to win, up by 50, but then I flexed Wandell and DJ Moore.
Yep.
Got 2.4 between the two of those. Roughly.
My home league championship, which is a very contested championship, guy had Derrick Henry, was projected to win his matchup, no joke, by 40 points. He had Waddle and Pittman and Josh Allen. The other guy had Drake May. The other guy's going to win now. So
Caesar says, I need Bijan, Puka, and London to outscore Colby Turner by 60 in a league where he sacks for 11 points.
Ooh, that should be close. I mean, look, I know my friend needs 40 plus from Puka Nacua tonight, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. Let's be honest. I need a huge game from Bijan because the two championships that I'm in, it is literally coming down to Bijan versus Stafford. So what I need is Stafford to tweak his back in the pregame and not play at all.
let's put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
And then Stetson Bennett to just hyper target Puka Nacua. That's what I need.
We were talking about it before. I'm up by 106. And the guy I'm facing in the championship has 5 players going tonight. Puka, Corum, Stafford, Pitts, and Kirk Cousins. So it's going to be, I'm sweating bullets right now with that out there. Need 12 from Pitts and Kyron tonight in a full PPR for back-to-back champions.
Very doable.
That's a championship.
You should very well get that just from Kyron. So.
I say I'm going to call you dummy, but that's your name. I'm not being mean.
Dummy man.
So. Yeah.
Chris Molina, I need about 30.8 combined from Kyron and Puka to go back to back in one of my dynasty leagues.
I think that's also very doable.
Definitely doable. I'd call it more 50-50. I'd be interested to know, Chris, does the website have you as 50% or is it less than that? So.
Let's see. Quincy's won last year and now this year, but never went undefeated. 17-0 feels good. Won the 1,000.
Hell yeah.
I have been playing fantasy football for 20 plus years now. I've never in my life sniffed an undefeated season.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. Dropped a mic. Down 0.9. He has Corum and London. The other guy has Puka.
London scares me. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish you were a favorite. I would call this 60-40 to the other guy.
My only concern, like I said to you guys beforehand, was that the Rams really have nothing to play for as far as seeding goes. There is at least somewhat of a chance that they sit them. Not for the whole game, but, at some point. Odds, Puka and Stafford go crazy for 60 plus again.
I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't. Yeah, because seriously. So Kira, because fucking Brock Purdy goes off.
Yeah.
I'm now down like 20 something. She's got Stafford. I've got Bijan. The other one, I'm leading Joe by around 20. He's got Stafford. I've got Bijan. So it's literally what it boils down to. Like, I feel like I'm probably losing to Kira because, again, completely fucking whiffed that I have Ramondre Stevenson on that team and should have started him over Tyrone Tracy. But
Britt Flynn put it to me yesterday, but I do have Stafford. She has Puka, but I'm resigned to defeat in that league. So.
Zach, just need Puka and Parkinson to not score 87. I mean, fuck Puka.
Parkinson's not going to get you anything contributing to that, so you're good.
Keenan says, it's time for Sean McDermott to be on the hot seat. Is it time for him to be on the hot seat for not taking the game into overtime yesterday? Poor coaching and GM continues to cost the Bills.
Some terrible decisions. I do think the GM thing is interesting because they went out and got Amari Cooper last year, and that was a massive dud. They've done nothing to really. I mean, Brandon Cooks.
The Keon Coleman pick was a huge.
Keon Coleman.
Who called that 2 years ago?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What do you know? Big wide receivers who can't separate or climb the ladder like George Pickens. Like I'm saying, he's not George Pickens. It's a problem. It's giving me shades of Kelvin Benjamin all over.
Oh, who was that comp? Oh,
yeah,
wait,
exactly.
Where's my mirror?
Crazy,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know the real reason why they decided to go for 2. Now, I understand, with the block extra point, they could have taken this in overtime. And I was talking to Chris a little bit afterwards. I was like, with New England beating the Jets, they basically didn't have a shot to win the East anyway. So they were resigned to a wild card spot. So at that point, being the 5, the 6, the 7, does it really matter because you're going on the road? Josh Allen's already banged up.
Yep.
Do you want him playing another quarter of football?
Well, that pass he missed yesterday,
and that's the thing is on that 2-point conversion, he was open.
Yeah.
They could have very easily won that game if it's a good throw, which clearly it wasn't. But now if you end up kicking the extra point, now you run the risk of, again, playing a good defense in overtime. Maybe it ends in a tie. Maybe they end up winning.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
there's an
it's
old
just
rule
pointless to play more football.
I said there's an old rule that if you're at home, you go to overtime. If you're on the road, you go for 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just a murky, messed up situation, especially with how good that defense was playing against that offense in that second half. Smitty needs Puka and Stafford.
I'm with you, Smitty.
I mean, that's fine with me too. I'm good there. Where the fuck was Breece Hall all season, by the way? Zach?
He's now been in the league 4 years. This is his first season with over 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah. That
was a wild stat.
You just needed them to have no functional offense, and they can only give him the ball. Did you guys see the tweet going around yesterday that Garrett Wilson still leads the team in receiving and hasn't caught a ball since October?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Not a little bit.
What's going on, brother? If the Rams win tonight, the Panthers win next week versus Tampa. Saints beat Atlanta. The Saints would finish second in the NFC South. Actually, here's
Saints propaganda. It's
I
been
promise
enjoyable this season.
I wouldn't have even started this. I was starring questions quickly, so I just was like, "Oh, who was probably giving us a good fact?" I mean, he is, but it's just Saints propaganda for Saints propaganda.
He did text me yesterday. He's like, you know what? A bet's a bet. Shuck didn't finish top 5 because that was the bet. If Shuck finished top 5, I would put him on the thumbnail.
Kid balled though.
I mean, look, he balled out. He looked great. 333 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Cam Ward also had a really fun game. I mean, it wasn't near what Shuck did, but there were some plays that Cam Ward was making, and I'm just like, whoo, okay. But I did put a bet for both Cam Ward and Tyler Shuck to score, to throw for 2+ passing TDs, and I hit both of them. And I was like, "Let's go, baby!
That'll work."
And then he was bitching because he didn't put them to parlay them together.
Oh my god, Ryan! We'll talk about that after the show. But oh my god, I was so fucking.
I want to elaborate on this real quick too, because if the Bucks lose to the Panthers, or if the Bucks beat the Panthers next week, the Falcons win tonight and win next week, that would make a 3-way tie. And it would go to the tiebreaker, and the Panthers would still win the NFC South because of the head-to-head matchups over. So just throwing that out there to add that to the dismal piece of shit fucking crap that's going across the bay from us right now. It is insane. Smitty's, I started Tungus over Parkinson. Oh, great job.
Two great starts this week were Jake Tungus and Michael Mayer, who I used for every one of these random questions this past
I was going to say, Tongas I was a little worried about because he hasn't really shown much in terms of volume. It's been like 2-3 catches,
always
maybe 10 yards, and you'll get that touchdown, right? They gave him the volume this week.
It's almost like they built an entire game plan around their tight end and then had to just switch to the next tight end. So.
Yep. Surprised that Pearsall was involved as he was, and they
that was wild.
Made Jennings took a back seat.
How about them rookies, RJ Harvey, Amari and Hampton, running back 9 and 10 on the week?
Joel was big on Amari and Hampton on Saturday, even in a tougher matchup. So it's a good call.
All right, 25 minutes in. Let's get to the man of the hour. Josh, I'll let you talk about him.
That would be Drake Maye.
Put some respect on this man's name.
Right? Look, we all knew the Patriots were going to smoke the Jets, and that's exactly what they did. But no matter who the opponent is. You throw 5 touchdowns in a game.
Yep.
4 of them coming in the first half.
Yep.
You're going to have a place on the thumbnail. Drake Maye absolutely balled out in his second season this year. 4,203 passing yards, which I believe is 3rd in the NFL. He's thrown 30 touchdowns while adding 4 more. But these are the stats that I like, and I don't even like rooting for Drake Maye because I fucking hate the Patriots. But he leads the league in QBR, leads the league in passer rating, leads the league in completion percentage, which, all right, cool, whatever. But when you also lead the league in yards per attempt, the fact that you also lead in completion percentage is that much more impressive. He's also been sacked the 4th most among quarterbacks in the NFL, which usually when you're getting sacked like that, you're not anywhere near the top of the heap when it comes to QB statistics. So fucking impressive, especially considering he's got a 31, 32-year-old Stephon Diggs as his wide receiver 1 who's coming off of an ACL and not much else when it comes to pass catchers.
Correct.
He is doing this with a freaking cover band of wide receivers. I mean, Patriots fans have got to be ecstatic, and we all know they are. But you know what? Shout out to Ann Michael May because she's just living it up right now, and she's got to be the biggest fan right now. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, the Patriots have went so long without an elite quarterback. I understand why they're all just ecstatic right now.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been so long.
I have nothing to add to what Josh said, except some of the stuff that Maye did specifically yesterday. That wasn't it like he completed his first like 12, 13 passes, only had 2 incompletions the entire.
He threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different wide receivers, which I believe was that was a historical mark in NFL history. I do know that.
Over 25% of his passes were touchdowns yesterday, folks. Or 25% of his completions, rather. Yeah. Just under 25% were touchdowns. 12 yards per pass. Like, that is a wild fucking stat in this day and age. So, I mean, you just love to see it from this kid. And quickly before we move on, great comment by Indexus Us here. Drake Maye's favorite wide receiver is the open receiver. You could say the same thing about Trevor Lawrence lately. Murphy says, is Drake Maye the QB2 behind Josh Allen next year? And I quickly, knowing that we have our mock draft episode next week, knocked out my top 72. And only 2 quarterbacks made my top 72 because I don't draft quarterbacks early, and that is Josh Allen and Drake Maye. So, yes, I agree with that statement. So.
And again, he still has the rushing floor. He has over 400 rushing yards this season. He had over 400 last year. He doubled his amount of rushing touchdowns as well. Like, he has the ability to do it on the ground. And when you look at someone like, I'll use Trevor Lawrence, for instance. Trevor Lawrence has 9 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's never sniffed that. So, like, that's a statistic that you know is going to come plummeting next year.
There's that, and then there's, yes, Trevor Lawrence is having a great season, but you still have to consider how closely quarterbacks are scoring. And I had the same issue with tight ends. My heart, when I was only planning to go to the 5th round. I ended up going to the 6th round because of extra players. I felt like I needed to rank. I wanted to have Harold Fannin on my list. But then, like, the tight end scoring is so lumped together. I do think Fannin sees a breakout next year, but I still don't know that he's worth a top half of the draft pick. And that's just how I draft tight ends. Let me be very clear. I set my mock draft up for how I would draft it, not for how the world will draft it, which we will see next week.
Couple quick things on that game yesterday. They scored. The Patriots did touchdowns on the first 4 drives. First time that's been done since like 2002, I believe it was.
Yeah. And then they had to kick that field goal into halftime and missed it, didn't they? He doinked it.
You brought up that Drake Maye doubled his rushing touchdowns this year. He's already doubled his passing touchdowns as well as dropped his interceptions from last year. Yeah. Again, going against to the huge jump that he made. Drake Maye only has 2 games this year that he hasn't thrown at least 1 touchdown.
Wow.
Both against the Buffalo Bills.
No shit. That's wild.
Just shit that I find. Trevor Lawrence was visited on Thanksgiving by Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, and Jameis Winston.
Yes.
We already talked about showing some love there.
Yeah.
Let's get over to I had a decision to make, Wan'Dale or Devontae Smith. I had Devontae in my lineup until 3:57 and switched it the last minute to Wan'Dale.
Smart move, man. Smart move.
Yeah, that is yeah, that's very good. Hannon doing the Lord's work yesterday.
That was wild what happened on that play. So
Quincy, all my picks were good. I was waiting on DJ Moore for just 15 yards for 2,000, and he only had one reception.
Oh no. 15 yards and he fucks you. That's rough.
Listen, I know the feeling because I only needed 17 yards receiving by JT when he got me 14. So
Ooh,
I know the fucking feeling.
I mean, with what DJ Moore has been doing recently, you would have thought that would just been easy. So
yeah, it was a Luther Burden day.
I have some stats on DJ Moore a little bit later. Yeah, we've got a whole section about some really disappointing wide receivers this year.
And Scott says, guys, thank you so much for all the advice this year. Much respect to all of you. We appreciate it. Yep. Drake Maye put me back in the lead.
Not surprising.
Stephen George up 3.87. I'm sitting Bijan. That's not stupid, right?
Yeah, stat corrections don't, unless you're in one of those weird leagues. Here's the only situation. If this is an IDP league and sacks are worth an insane amount of points, because the only stat correction that's really going to happen is somebody is going to get a half sack turned into a full sack or a no sack turned into a half sack. If that is the case, that's the only way you're going to see that type of stat correction.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think that you're going to get a negative 4-point play from Bijan and then an injury. Like, those are extremely rare. But, like, if you were up, I don't know, 1.5, that kind of shit could very well happen, right? Yeah. Like a catch, a fumble, and then done, right?
Yeah.
Which I have seen that before. 3.87, 4 point. We got another like 4.1 in the Discord a little bit earlier. It was a very similar situation. Secure that championship. You're not playing for, total points, seasoning or anything. Like, this is one and done at this point. Sit Bijan. It's not cowardly. No, you're playing to win, and that's how you win, plain and simple.
100%. And like I said, IDP leagues are the only one where you have to take that very seriously. The most common stat correction is someone being awarded a sack, and you have to be careful with that. So,
Ray Gamers down 6.5 in a standard with Kyron and versus Pitts.
Very close. It's non-PPR, so you like Kyron to score a touchdown as long as they come out and play real football. So,
true.
Also, are you guys doing the MPI this week?
Glad this was asked. Yeah. So, for the first time in 2+ years, we're actually taking Wednesday off this week. It wasn't initially planned, but Joe is still with family for the holidays. He always goes for Christmas. And because of the day of the week that New Year's Eve falls, I unfortunately have to work, and I'm not going to force Ryan to do a solo show by himself. So,
and being blunt, folks, it's week 18. The only show I would even consider doing would be a way too early mock draft, and we're doing that next Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually for week 18, what we do anyway, we kind of like recap the season, but we spend all of January essentially doing that because we do a lot of accountability stuff where we kind of go back and look at our projections, rankings, some of our bold predictions and things like that from the offseason. I actually kind of started going through and piecing together some of our stuff from our Look Inside episodes from over the summer, because I kind of want to make I don't want to call it like a little montage, but like cut a little clips here and there. So like some of our calls that we absolutely nailed, and then sort of combat it with like, wow, we were way off on this guy. Like, just kind of having a little fun with it, just to kind of show that, we're not afraid of, putting ourselves out there and like, hey, if we make some bad calls, we'll make some bad calls. So,
I own my bad calls, but I'm going to own one good call. If any of you happen to have purchased Football Guys magazine this past summer, one analyst called Wan'Dale Robinson the sleeper of the century, and now he is winning people championships. Wan'Dale Robinson, baby. I might buy a jersey.
In fairness, you also said that on our Giants preview show, right?
I did. I'm consistent. And again, I take my own advice. I have him on some rosters. So.
All right, let's get over to the shot of espresso. Quality performances that got the juices flowing. Here are some of the honorable mentions. Brock Purdy, Jackson Dart, Caleb Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Charbonnet, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall. Welcome to the NFL, year 4. Luther Burden, Chris Godwin, Wan'Dale Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Parker Washington, Colston Loveland, Jake Tungus, and Michael Mayer. Ryan, I want to let you start this one off because I know Hoove is still hopefully in the chat, and he's going to love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. What it really comes down to is I believed we owed Tyler Shuck some love. This is a show that we were never down on. Yes, we were. We were hating on Shuck the entire draft and the entire preseason. The kid has really stepped his game up. I would say going back to week 10. Since week 10, he has only not scored a touchdown in one game. The game where he didn't throw any touchdowns, he rushed 2 in. And I got to be honest, we haven't seen a ton of rushing from Tyler Shuck, but he has shown some rushing that gives me hope for him as a fantasy quarterback next season. And what this really comes down to for me is more from a NFL consistency standpoint than a fantasy standpoint. I hate when teams are constantly changing coaches and constantly changing quarterbacks. Obviously, the Saints aren't changing coaches. There was worry that they were going to move off of Tyler Shuck this early. And as Hoove pointed out, there's a non-zero chance the New Orleans Saints are the number 2 seed, the number 2 ranked team in the NFC South, meaning they're not going to have a very high draft pick. And I don't see them moving up to try to get an elite quarterback. I am hopeful that we get to see Tyler Shuck for 17 games next season. I love consistency. I love giving these kids a chance, and calling Tyler Shuck a kid is a stretch. He's one of the older NFL rookies. But going back to what he did yesterday, and maybe I'm just happy that I predicted a stat line again. I said last week he had his first 300 game. He had a touchdown stolen by Taysom Hill. So why not give him 302 touchdowns this week? Tyler Shuck finishes with 333 yards and 2 touchdowns this week. 60-yard pass. You just saw a lot of things from him. I got really excited about Drake Maye's 12 yards per pass. Tyler Shuck had 12.3 yards per pass. No turnovers, just a lot of things you like to see from a young, later drafted round quarterback. And the part I wanted to give him a lot of credit for is Josh hit on this with Drake Maye again. I guess there's a lot of parallels here. Other than Chris Olave, who the fuck was this guy throwing to? I mean, Juwan Johnson's a good tight end, but that's kind of the same as Hunter Henry. Chris Olave versus Stephon Diggs, you would expect Olave, but then you're getting down to guys who aren't going to be in the NFL next year that Tyler Shuck had to throw the ball to. Like even the guys we thought were going to pop here get traded, or Devon Vele ends up on the IR. Never had Alvin Kamara. He's running this offense through Audric Estime. Just when obviously the opponents shaped up very well for Tyler Shuck. These games that I'm so hyped about were against Carolina, Atlanta, Miami, Tampa Bay, Carolina, the Jets, and Tennessee. But again, it's the right step forward for a player that I'm excited to see next season. I won't be surprised if I wait on quarterback in a few leagues and Tyler Shuck is a week 1 starting quarterback for me next season.
So I'll point out what you were mentioning. Since week 10, Tyler Shuck is the QB 12.
Yep. I was pulling that up when Jay kicked to me earlier than I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
So I never got a chance to get back.
He's literally been a viable fantasy starting quarterback for the back half of the season.
With the other side of that, Ryan, as you brought up, the teams he played, of course, he doesn't get to choose those. But more importantly, 4 of those games were against his divisional, which he's going to play 6 times.
Great point.
So that right there alone. And again,
and Ryan, all those teams that you listed off that Tyler Shuck played, who the fuck has Drake Maye played? It's literally no different. And everybody's using that as a case for why he shouldn't be or isn't the league MVP. Like, at the end of the day, you play who you play. Like, you don't, it's not like in college where you control your schedule, right? It's not his fault that the NFC South is dog shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the division can't get better next year. So now he's got 6 harder home games. So there you go, Caesar. Love that.
Like I said, the kid played his ass off, plain and simple. And for me, as someone who people have been watching me do this show for more years than I can count at this point, all I've ever cried about in the NFL is consistency. I hate how quickly we move on from coaches. I hate how quickly we move on from quarterbacks. It bit Cleveland in the ass. You could argue it bit the Jets in the ass. We're giving up on these kids too quick, plain and simple.
Yeah, before I kick it over to you, Josh, I've been slacking today. Don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe over there on YouTube. If you're over on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platform, make sure you're hitting that follow button. Never miss anything that we put out. Also, make sure you are in our Discord. It is absolutely free just because this is the last week of championship week for this season. We don't stop putting out stuff in the Discord.
We already got fantasy baseball questions.
They're already talking
in the Discord.
Yes, I saw that this morning. They were already talking fantasy baseball, so that's fun as well. And man, it's going to be a hell of an offseason. Josh, who is your shot of espresso?
Hey Ryan, remember when I said the Giants defense was going to be a good start this week?
To be fair, I didn't push back terribly hard. I did not expect what we got. Let me be very fucking clear. I didn't push back this hard. And the more I came around on this game, Josh, with the tank fest, in my opinion, being one side, it was far more predictable than I gave it credit for. Kudos to you, Josh.
Did you hear that, Ryan? Vroom, 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 vroom. Somebody's taking a victory lap.
Well, first of all, if Josh gets a defense over on me, take all the victory laps.
They finished as the defense 2 this week.
Defense 1 in basic scoring. So
I was going off fantasy data. They finished behind the Vikings. So
maybe I'm wrong then. That's where I pulled my numbers from too. So you're good. So
yeah, they allowed only 10 points, racked up 4 sacks, 2 interceptions from the league leader in interceptions, and a return touchdown. Look, this has been kind of the rule of thumb that we've gone about this season. And it's don't play bad defenses in what should be good matchups. But this is what I say about the Giants defense. While they're a bad defense, they also have a great pass rush.
Yeah.
So when a great pass rush goes against a terrible offense with a horrendous quarterback, you fire them up.
Absolutely.
Brian Burns, who Joe Zolo has been touting all season.
Yeah. If Myles Garrett didn't exist, Brian Burns could be the defensive player of the year on one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yes.
So
1.5 sacks and 3 QB hits. Their top overall draft pick from this past year, the 3rd overall pick, Abdul Carter, 0.5 sack, 4 QB hits. Just imagine if this kid figures out how to finish a sack. Some defensive coordinator that takes this job has got to be salivating at the idea that he gets those 2 and potentially Kayvon Thibodeau whenever he comes back, because him as a 3rd option is really good. Gino, as I mentioned, Gino leads the league in interceptions. This was a really easy call, in my opinion, but this makes me, not as an Eagles fan, obviously, but from a fantasy perspective, this gets me excited.
Certainly.
For this team going into next year, because there are pieces here. Like, they went out and they got Javon Holland from Miami. You draft Carter. You trade for Brian Burns 2 years ago. Okereke in the middle of that defense. They've got some pieces there that, with the right defensive scheme, the right defensive coach, they could be a top 10 option, especially in fantasy. But are they going to hire the right guy? I don't fucking know, but I'll take my victory lap. So
yeah, I think you just went through that whole thing without even mentioning Dexter Lawrence, which opens everything up for
exactly.
Else.
Like,
so, yeah.
you get the guy in the middle there that eats up, all the interior, all that stuff. Like, it's going to make life easier for pass rusher. It's the same thing that the Eagles have with Jalen Carter. Like,
100%.
Jalen Carter gets
100%.
After the quarterback. He doesn't rack up huge sack numbers.
The Giants just don't have the secondary the Eagles have, and that's what they need to address. And here's the thing. They are so fucking set on offense that they get to attack secondary in this upcoming draft and maybe some linebacking depth.
If they focus their draft on wherever they're at, they're going to have a top 5 pick. And I know, I've seen some early mocks that, maybe going out and getting a wide receiver. I've seen Mekhi Lemon floated around as a great compliment for Malik Neighbors, whatever. You need to protect Jackson Dart. Go get Spencer Fano from Utah. Plug him in at right tackle. Now you've got bookends to protect your quarterback who's been in the concussion protocol 5 fucking times this year.
Yep.
And then spend the rest of your draft on defense and interior offensive linemen.
Yep.
You can figure out everything else in free agency.
I'm just like Malik Neighbors. Darius Slayton is a perfect Z or Y rather for to play opposite Malik Neighbors, and then Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. And then Theo Johnson, Cam Scatterbo. you have the right offense perfectly. You just need to protect these guys and then improve that secondary.
I'm going to pull this up really quick. No, Jackson Dart is not another Justin Fields. Jackson Dart knows how to throw the football.
Yep. The thing is, we never questioned Jackson Dart's ability to throw the football. We were immediately questioning Justin Fields' ability to throw the football. So
100%.
Plus, I don't think Jackson Dart has 1,000-yard rushing upside. So
no, certainly not.
He's got the rushing upside, but I don't think they want him to rush it that much either. That's why they have a Cam Scatterboo. That's why you've got a Tracy or whatever, and then you've got the weapons on the outside as well for him. I wanted to bring up my guy from last year who got injured this preseason with a neck injury, bad neck injury. But Jalen McMillan, somebody I was super high on last year, missed the first 14 weeks this year, was eased into the lineup over the last 2 weeks. Total, the last 2 weeks, week 15 and 16, got 5 targets, caught 4 of them, only 53 yards. But then there's yesterday. And I know Miami's defense isn't the best in the world, but when you're sitting there and you've got Chris Godwin and you've got, Mike Evans out there with him, Ibuka with him, 9 targets, 7 catches, 114 yards. The only thing he was missing was the touchdown there. Godwin got that, which is fine. 18.4 fantasy points, wide receiver 10 on the week as of right now. The reason I wanted to bring him up is because this is somebody that didn't play the first 14 weeks. This is somebody you should be looking at getting on your team for next year. Big things are in the Bucs offense for him, as long as they have an offense. I don't know what's going to happen.
I have him stashed on a couple of teams, dynasty teams. I'm telling you, my biggest thing here is one of these big two, one of Godwin or Evans has to be gone. That's the only way that I'm going to trust him or Ibuka in 2026.
It occurred to me on a show that I alluded in passing that Mike Evans might retire. I don't see Mike Evans retiring, and I don't see him playing for another team. It almost feels like if anyone's moving, it has to be Godwin. So.
And Baker loves Godwin.
And that's
I don't
what I'm
think
saying.
Godwin goes anywhere.
That's the thing is, I think they come back with all 4. Great for Baker. Great for Bucs fans. Terrible for fantasy.
Terrible for fantasy. Yep. Because at that point, then it's really Godwin and Evans, the only 2 that you want to have. But I'm telling you, I said this when he came out of Washington and the Bucs drafted him. McMillan is going to be somebody to be reckoned with.
Well, yeah, if he was healthy that final year, nobody knows who the fuck Jalen Polk is.
If Jalen McMillan doesn't get hurt, didn't he get hurt at the end of last year and then got re-injured?
Yeah.
If Jalen McMillan doesn't get hurt at the end of last year, do they draft Emeka Ibuka? There's a lot going on there. So. Yep.
100%. Let's get into some of these audience questions real quick. Smitty's up 18, I guess, with the W already. Should I play Bijan?
Sit him.
If you're already winning,
I mean, let's be clear. You can't lose.
Your opponent
points.
has nobody
Run
left.
The score up. You can't lose 18. That's not happening. Run the score up. The other guy who was up 4. There's a very weird world, depending on what fumbles count in your league, that Bijan Robinson could finish with -4. It's not happening, but it's a world. There's 0 world. This world does not exist where Bijan Robinson can have -18 fantasy points. Run up the score. You're fine.
He's never had a negative game. The discount on Chase Brown next year is going to be insane.
Man, I tell you, he started so slow this season. And, part of that, obviously, not having Burrow there. The Cincinnati Bengals as an offense just always starting slow. He has been so hot to finish this season.
I don't know that there's going to be a discount. When I was putting together, Chase Brown is my number 12 pick in a first round of my draft. Now, again, he was the last one I was able to put there, and maybe other people have opinions on that, but I have Chase Brown as my 12, so I don't think
I was going to say, I think he's still a top 12 option at the running back position. I mean, going into the season, I had him and James Cook kind of right next to each other, and I don't really think they're far off. And
hey, Josh, I have them right next to each other again at 11 and 12 in the first round.
Shocker. I'm curious where they finish or where they're sitting at right now among running backs. Cook is 6, Chase Brown is 8, sandwiched around Derrick Henry at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah.
We didn't start this one, but I do want to bring this up. First week of championship round in my work league. I'm up 80 points already with Puka still to play. Zach, stop playing in week 18.
Let's go. Well, I mean, maybe it's one of those like 2-week things.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So
I don't play 2 weeks though.
I love 2-week championships. I've never done one. I love the idea.
Until everybody is sitting out because they're locked up.
Well, and so here's where my issue lies with the 2-week championship. When 2-week championships started, it was your same roster for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you get to change your roster, which I think most leagues do these days, in between those 2 weeks, I'm good with it. I think it's fun.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Obviously, I didn't convince you, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything.
No. Drake May White Boy of the Year 2025. What are we doing? Y'all didn't start anything else? Oh, there they are.
I don't know.
No, I say, yeah, there's still.
There weren't really questions, so I figured you were just going to kind of go right on down the list. And
who y'all got for the Super Bowl?
God, this is about the most wide open that I can remember. Honest to God, I mean, if San Francisco ends up with the 1 seed in the NFC, I do think they can make a run. And I hate saying that because I fucking despise those crybabies. Their Achilles heel is their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah.
And they have 0 pass rush. The Rams having to go on the road, don't love that for them. Seattle's got a great fucking defense. Their offense is too inconsistent. Philly, same situation. You can't trust the offense. But, I mean, maybe Carolina can surprise. They tend to play pretty well they
They win
show
and
up.
then they lose, and then they win and then they lose.
Yeah, it's so weird.
They're not.
They
got to remember, you go in the playoffs, you got to win.
Like I don't trust the Bears. I don't trust the Packers, especially not without Micah Parsons. Like I legitimately have no fucking idea who's coming out of the NFC. The AFC. Look, if Josh Allen can't do it this year, he's never doing it. I'm telling you that shit right now.
Well,
because Patrick Mahomes is coming back.
He needed that bye. I think not getting this,
especially with him tweaking his ankle last week, he needed a bye week. Them not getting it, I don't think the Bills are going anywhere. God, who Steelers definitely aren't. Steelers may not even make the playoffs. They may get bounced next week against Baltimore, but I don't think Baltimore is going anywhere. That Lamar Jackson does not look right.
Oh, so I read that he tweaked his back, felt way better by Friday. They decided not to play him. He should be able to play week 18.
This is going to sound like a massive hot take. I would not be shocked one bit if the Patriots are 1 and done.
Whoa.
How many times did Mike Vrabel end up with a 1 seed or 2 seed with the Tennessee Titans and get bounced immediately?
How many of those times did he have Drake, Maye?
How many times did he have Derrick Henry?
Okay.
I mean,
but now he has Travion Henderson. No, I'm busting balls. I'm busting balls.
You know, but and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, it's so wide open. So
when you
wide
look
open.
at the team and the coach combo, it feels like Denver could make a run. Sean Payton has pushed the team there. Not that a lot of these coaches haven't, but a lot of the coaches, as you pointed out, don't have the team. Denver has the defense, but then again, they're just as inconsistent on offense. Yeah. Josh, I don't think you actually answered the question yet. Do you have?
No, I really haven't.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, anybody?
Honestly, I would take Houston over Jacksonville.
Jacksonville beat them.
So, it's the playoffs. It doesn't fucking matter.
But what is we know this about the playoffs too, though, is one of the hottest team going in, and right now Jacksonville seems to be one of those hottest teams going in, especially with the teams.
Are we again? You want to talk about hot teams? Look at how hot Tennessee or Houston is right now.
I mean, they're not hotter than Jacksonville.
Their offense isn't, but their defense will run circles around Jacksonville.
Jacksonville is 12-4 and on a 7-game winning streak. Texans are on an 8-game winning streak. Like, I'm not going to argue that the Texans aren't hot, but they're not. They're equal as Jacksonville, if you will. So,
I would put my money on D'Amico Ryans over Liam Cohen.
I don't know. Liam's fucking quarterback whisperer.
I just to give a quick answer, I'm going chalk as fuck. The Pats and the 49ers for me. So
I feel like the 49ers, because
I'll
again,
say Houston and San Francisco, which again I hate saying because I don't want to root for San Francisco at all, but that offense is just it's firing on all cylinders right now, and I think you put them at home, they'll find a way to get there.
There you go.
So give me the San Fran versus their former DC in the Super Bowl with Houston.
Yeah, I'd say that's fine. Yeah. That's a story.
That's at least the narrative I can.
And the game would be in San Fran.
Yep.
Yes. Sick of fantasy football. Beloved Juwan got me 65 for me. Went into last night, basically tied CMC and his opponent at Purdy, who stole all the CMC TDs.
Yeah. Brock Purdy made and ended a lot of people's seasons last night.
Fucking Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, man.
I'm telling you, this is just revenge for all the years that I shit on Brock Purdy and said he sucked and he was just a product of the system. The kid can ball.
Fair enough.
They missed him. Who's the 2026 number 1 draft pick for fantasy?
It's going to be CMC because the same reason why people were taking Saquon Barkley at 101 this year, because they don't bake into the equation the amount of carries wears on you, plain and simple. But this is the only reason why I won't push back that much on CMC. CMC is a completely different breed of player when he is healthy. The amount of fantasy points per game that he scores, head and shoulders above everybody else.
I think one person showed that they can be that this season, and that's why, for me, Jahmyr Gibbs will be my first pick next season.
Honestly, my first pick's probably going to be Bijan. But
yeah, you
give him touchdowns, he's the RB1.
So another quick funny stat that I found last night was CMC. CMC, Barry Sanders, and I want to say there was one others. But anyway, there's only 3 players in NFL history that have 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing in the same season.
Daniel Tomlinson.
Maybe. CMC is 110 yards from being the first one to do it twice.
Yeah.
So, CMC's so hard to say no that he's not going to be the one.
Yeah. But
it's very possible. Great call on Taysom Hill. Saw many Twitter experts recommending to start. Yeah, we nailed this one on Saturday.
Yep. This website shat on Taysom Hill for a week straight, and we'll victory lap that for sure.
Yeah, that was the easiest call to make.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, people get so caught up in, oh, look what he can do because he throws the football, blah, blah, blah. Like, stop.
Yep.
He's fucking Taysom Hill. We've been through this. Why do people never learn a goddamn lesson?
The funny thing about Taysom Hill, and I've been saying this for ages, is if you just made him a running back in fantasy, he'd be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Drake, Maye, and Charbonnet.
Whew.
Charbonnet over 100 yards, and didn't he have 2 touchdowns?
Yep. Yeah. Huge game for Zach Charbonnet this week. That's such a great, terrible.
I can't wait for Kenneth Walker to move on and find a new home. I'm so sick of Charbonnet.
So that played into my rankings is I think those two get split up next year, and I think they're both 4th and 5th round picks on their new respective teams. So,
did you see? I don't know how much y'all paid attention to the game yesterday, but during the Seattle game, they were showing McDonald's record or stats as the second year from when he was at second year with Baltimore, and his defense was like top 2 in every category. This is second year in Seattle, and they're top 3 in every category. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, the question's going to be. They're losing pieces now. Kobe Bryant, they lost a defensive tackle. Like, can they keep it going? So,
hey, I'm going to disagree with this. So just a little bit, because we've been up and coming for about 7 years. Steve George, congrats on 18,000. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
I wish it was 18,000.
Yeah. 1,800. We'll get there eventually. Eventually. Let's see. Started the Giants solely because of Josh's call.
Let's go, Zach.
Yeeks. Love it. What would your thoughts in a championship week? The Giants would be the defense of the league, winning teams, the new freaking Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the new freaking Giants. Well, maybe.
No, it's supposed to say New York. He just
okay.
The New York friggin' Giants. So
all right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to go through them because the guys are being lazy like me today. I'm calling my shots. The New York Giants will be the NFC East champs next year with Neighbors and Scattaboo back.
I did miss this one. But I would say I try to start the ones that are more questions or good statements, not just like replying to our comments. But it'd be interesting to see what the Giants pull off next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot's just going to depend on who they bring in as head coach, plain and simple. Like if they try to go the retread route with Mike McCarthy, I don't think they're going to be anything.
Yeah.
But health is going to play into it, and they play on MetLife. That turf is terrible.
Terrible.
You know, you can show all the fucking studies you want. Oh, there are no less injuries and so and so. Well, you know what? When your stars are getting hurt at MetLife, it amplifies the problem. Plain and simple. Scadabo's got to be able to come back healthy. Like a leg injury like that, we saw what happened with Isaiah Pacheco. Now, granted, Scadabo much more talented than Isaiah Pacheco, but both of them have a very hard running style. Your legs may not be able to take that. So I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be a still key part of that backfield, and you're going to get more of a 1-2 punch there. Neighbors is Neighbors. Like I'm not worried about him coming back healthy, but what other moves are they going to make? Are they going to fortify the offensive line? Yeah. Are they going to re-sign Wan'Dale Robinson? Is another team going to throw the back? Like there's plenty of teams that have some cap space that could lure Wan'Dale Robinson away from the Giants.
It feels like Christian Kirk all over again.
And that's the other side of it too. So you know, there's going to be some situations where, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Eagles are going to go 3 straight and win the East. Like, could they? Sure. It rarely ever like this is the first time in 20 years we've even had a back-to-back champion in the NFC East. I still think the Eagles are the best team in the East, and I'm not saying that just because I'm biased. Like top to bottom, they're the most talented team, but they're going to have a lot of changes. Dallas is going to take a step forward. That's what they do when they step back, they go forward. Giants could make a run. A healthy Jaden Daniels could have something to do with that.
Oh yeah.
Know? So there's a lot that
certainly an entertaining division next year.
Yeah. So it's entertaining, but you know, I definitely don't think the Giants will be as bad next year as they were this year.
I'll tell you what, though, if you truly believe that, if you're a gambling person, go find that line as soon as it opens,
good odds
because you will get great odds on it.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's close to like a plus 2,000.
Yeah, maybe even higher.
Yeah.
We worried about Baker next year?
Hey, remember when I said that he wasn't going to be the QB7 and everybody was like, oh, you're fucking crazy. You threw 40 touchdowns.
I want to also give Josh credit. The one thing you hammered in the preseason, Josh, was that he was not going to be able to repeat his rushing upside. And they literally talked about that on the broadcast yesterday. So,
yeah, that second
I mean, look, I will say he's playing hurt, and Chris has talked about it in the chat. He's a huge Baker guy. But, you know, again, this team is I don't know what to make of the Bucs. I truly don't. I know they've dealt with a ton of injuries, but they're not the only team that's dealt with a ton of injuries. They need a new head coach. They've got to bring somebody else. Todd Bowles is not the answer.
Todd Bowles is not the answer. They've had 2 of the most dynamic offensive coordinators over the past 2 years that are now head coaches. They should have never let the second one go, but that's beside the point. We've talked about that. And now look what he's done with not only what he did with Baker Mayfield last year, but look what he's done with Trevor Lawrence now. I mean, Trevor Lawrence would not be the quarterback that we're talking about, playoff bound, you know, all that kind of good stuff, if it wasn't for Liam Cohen. That was a huge misstep by the Bucs front office, Jason Light and the Glazier team.
Well, like, and we talked about this. In fairness, they tried to keep Liam Cohen, make him the highest paid.
They tried to keep him as a coordinator.
Yeah, they made him an offensive coordinator, the highest paid offensive coordinator, and now the way it went about was absolutely douchebag on his part. But 1 of 32, dude. I'm out if I can go do it. So whatever. That's beside the point. Let's move one more time. The last chance we get to do this on this show, panic or chill the fuck out. Here's a list of some of the players' fantasy points per game rankings that contribute to the sinking of your championship.
Yeah, right.
Let's play a little panic or chill the fuck out as we head into 2026.
Yeah.
Let's start with Lad McConkey, and I'm going to throw some numbers out here. So he's wide receiver 27 on the season. I believe his preseason ADP was like wide receiver 14.
Yeah, something like that.
Give or take. Like, and people were drafting him higher than that because they all felt that he could be a wide receiver 1. He is wide receiver 37 in points per game. He's not even a top 3 wide receiver on a team. But he's second on the team in targets with 106 and second in receiving touchdowns with 6. leads the team in receiving yards, 789. So not even 1,000 yards. And he's one of 3 Chargers wide receivers with over 730 receiving yards. Yeah. So him, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, they're evenly distributing this football. This team opened up the offense, and they were throwing a ton in the beginning of the season. They're averaging 32.8 pass attempts per game, about 27.8 rushing. It's really interesting to me how they've kind of scaled that back, considering how much the offense has struggled with protecting Justin Herbert. But this is kind of the question in this scenario that I'm looking at here. And Sick 50H, I'm with you 100%. The moment that they brought Keenan Allen back, I was off the Lad McConkey train.
Absolutely.
But they only brought him back for 1 year.
Exactly.
Does he come back for another year? Does the team want to bring him back for another year? Does he retire? We don't know. But now let's factor in the emergence of Oronde Gadsden, another pass-catching option. So now you're right back to, well, we've got 3 decent options here with Ladd, Oronde, Quentin Johnston. What is McConkey's ceiling? If you're looking at him as a top 15 option again next year, are you panicking or chilling the fuck out?
I'm glad you clarified, because that was the part I was going to ask you. As a top 15, I am full panic mode. Whether Keenan is back or not, I was going to bring up Oronde Gadsden, who also has 640 yards, and that's after doing next to nothing for the first 3 games of the season. This is a different offense, plain and simple. In year 1 of this Harbaugh-Roman offense, they needed to lean on Ladd McConkey. QJ wasn't quite there yet. Keenan Allen wasn't in the building. They had no tight end. That all changed this season, plain and fucking simple. And now Ladd is a low upside wide receiver too, which is disgusting, but that's what he is. So
yeah. And that's the thing, is he's a good player. Like in any other offense, yeah, we're talking about him as a top 12 option pretty easily. It's a Harbaugh team. He's Zay Flowers.
Well, he plays primarily out of the slot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And with Herbert slinging the ball, he wants to move the ball down the field. A lot of what Ladd does is these short catches with Yak, right? Yeah. But the one player that y'all didn't mention they added this year was Omarion Hampton. And when healthy, you have him coming out of the backfield for those short yardage.
But that's the thing, is these Harbaugh-Roman offenses, they don't throw to running backs often. And so, like, we'll see these spike weeks with Hampton where, like, I think this past week he had 8 targets or something along those lines. Like, he had a good receiving game. But, like, you're going to get plenty of games where it's 1 catch, 2 catch, 0 catches, right? Because
you're forgetting that he was injured for there, right?
No, I understand that. Even when he was
injured, before he was injured, he had a game with 7 targets, a game with 6 targets, a game with 5 targets, and now coming back, now that he's healthy again, now a game with 8 targets. He is active in the passing game, in the receiving game, a lot more than what the Harbaugh and Roman offense was before. So I'm just pointing out that we're talking about Keenan Allen maybe leaving whatever, but we're adding in another player that is just as good. I mean, if not better than Ladd. And so I'm with you. I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean, but again, like, you're going through and you're naming all this stuff. Like, he's played 9 games. He's not even averaging 4 targets per game. Like, that's not a huge chunk of targets for a running back.
I'm not arguing that it's not a huge chunk, but as it
still
goes,
another reason to not use.
No, I mean, I agree.
Right. That's what
he's working in the short yardage, yeah, which ultimately is where Ladd thrives. But, like, he's also a downfield option because of his speed. But they're not drawing up plays for that.
Mm-mm.
Yep. And I love this comment here from Scott. McConkey's a wide receiver 3 in his mind. I don't hate that.
Apparently he is in mine as well, because I just quickly went through, and you'll hear more about my own mock draft next week, to see where I moved him in my He's the 27th receiver off my board in my.
Hey, what is he right now? Wide receiver 27.
There you go. So, yep.
100%. All right, Josh, who's the next one?
DJ Moore.
Blech.
So he's wide receiver 31 on the season, but his 10.5 points per game is wide receiver 43. He currently leads the team in receptions, 49, and receiving yards, 671. And he's also tied for the team lead in receiving touchdowns with 6. But he's second on the team in targets at 82. And Roma Dunze, who leads the team in targets, has only played 12 games, which tells you that he's clearly taken a back seat in this wide receiver 1 role here.
Yeah.
But he's one of 4 Chicago pass catchers with over 40 receptions and 615 yards. Olamide Zaccheaus has 39, by the way. They have condensed this, and it's just like everybody is like right in this little area. That's it. Nobody's taking advantage of anything here in this Chicago passing game. He's played every game, which is great.
Crazy.
But again, what's up?
Go ahead. I was just going to say, it's crazy to think that DJ Moore only has the 49 receptions, and we're talking about Caleb Williams fixing to eclipse the 4,000 yards.
Yeah. He's played second fiddle to Roma Dunze, but only has 41.9 receiving yards per game. And now we're seeing Colston Loveland and Luther Burden emerge. He's going to be 29 next year, entering year 8 in the league. Has no guaranteed money after 2026. So I'm going to pose 2 questions here for the same answer. If DJ Moore is on the Chicago Bears in 2026, you have to imagine his ADP is going to be massively depressed.
Yeah.
Let's say top 36 is his ADP, because that's a wide receiver 3. Panic or chill the fuck out?
I guess chill the fuck out, because I decided to go through it. I have him as wide receiver 36 right now. So cool. If I can get him there, I'll take it, I guess.
To me, that's best ball, though. Like, I want nothing to do with him in redraft.
Great point. Yeah.
And that's exactly what that is, right? Because it's either flex, or you got to guess when to play him, and you got to hope for an injury for him to get on the field.
Exactly. So for me, I'm still panicking. But here's the second part of the question. If the Bears trade him, and I'll bring this up from sick because this is literally where I'm going to, it's only a $12 million cap hit.
Buffalo.
Where do you want to see him to where you are chilling the fuck out, where he can still be a wide receiver 2+? Because I've got an option that I think probably people aren't thinking of.
I mean, this is the boring answer, but for me, it's most places, because I already have him at 36 staying with the Bears. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have Roma Dunze ahead of him just based on potential upside with what we saw this season. An ideal landing spot for DJ Moore, I'm going to go on the assumption we could see someone move off of, say, Stephon Diggs. So if DJ Moore ended up in New England, I would be ecstatic.
How about Tennessee?
Replace Calvin Ridley.
They have $105.8 million in cap space. Calvin Ridley, if they cut him, it's a $13 million dead cap hit. But he's not making much more than DJ Moore. He's younger, not coming off of an injury. Cam Ward loves to freelance.
Yeah.
DJ Moore is the perfect zone coverage wide receiver. You give him a solid number 1 who's had a lot of success in this league. Allows DK, Manor to continue to grow and learn from a guy like DJ Moore. And you've got enough cap space to rebuild your defense. I think that'd be a really good spot, and it's something that they should consider. But again, that's another team that's searching for a head coach.
Yeah.
Likely going to have a brand new offense. Where does that ultimately fit? But I do think that really anywhere else you put him,
could use a guy like DJ Moore.
Yeah, anybody could. Truthfully.
The Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have Burden in your top 72? And if you do you have him ahead of DJ Moore?
I do not. I did this as if Moore is a bear, and I think Odunze and Moore stifle Burden enough. Loved what we saw yesterday, but it was mildly predictable. So Burden did not make my 72. I don't know where I would have even fit him in, to be honest. So.
I honestly, if DJ Moore is not on that team, I think Luther Bird's a top 30 option.
Oh, I'll be perfectly honest. If DJ Moore's off that team, I would probably put Burden right where I had Moore and then have to figure out where I'm putting Moore depending on where.
Yeah, but I also think too, because Rome Odunze is still going to be there, he's entering year 3. It's going to be the same situation in redraft where you're trying to decide, is Rome Odunze the one or is Luther Burden the one?
I'll be perfectly
and you're going to have them you're going to have both of them right there next to each other in ADP, the same way we had Moore and Odunze right next to each other in ADP this summer. And we were guessing who was ultimately going to be that wide receiver 1 for Chicago.
Yeah. The most questionable player I included in my top 72 is Emeka Egbuka. And that's just because I paired him with Rome Odunze because we've been making that comp for 10 weeks now. Odunze has a much clearer path to being a legit wide receiver next season, whereas Egbuka, it's cloudy. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's cloudy. So.
Yeah, the only reason I asked the question is if you look over the last 5-6 weeks or so with Burden, he's progressively gotten better, more targets, more yards. You know what I mean? So that's
yeah. I'll be honest,
and I think that Josh, the question is fair that there is that option, or at least the Bears should explore the option of moving on.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we said at the moment they drafted Loveland and Burden, these are the replacements for Cole Kmet and DJ Moore.
Yeah. One thing I can do,
Carolina threw him in.
Yeah.
Along with the number 1 overall.
They needed a wide receiver 1 for Justin Fields. And he did great for him. But now you get a new system. He clearly hasn't meshed with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson wants his guys. That's who he spent those top 2 draft picks on.
Right. But in that trade, remember, they got the number 1 pick to go with that. And that turned out to be Taylor Williams. So they got what they needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked out well.
Colossal
wild trade
by Carolina.
Worked out very, very well. All right, let's get back to these last couple in the chat here. This time is flying.
And I cut a section.
Already won 2 money leagues. 1 left to go, down 5.5. Full PPR. Kyron and Puka left.
You got this, homie.
That's a dub. Congrats.
That's as your name says, sick.
Yeah.
Nice. IDB John down 40. But this league has a 5-point bonus for 100 receiving or rushing and a 10-point bonus for 200. What's his odds?
All right, let's give him 125 in one of those 2 categories, more than likely rushing. That's going to get you 12 plus the 5. That gets you to 17. I'm not loving it for you, plain and simple. Especially you need 2 touchdowns and a lot of PPR to make that happen. So,
yeah. That's going to be a stretch. 5-point bonus is definitely not enough. I will say his rush receiving prop when I checked last was 126.5. I think
combined.
Yeah, but to get the bonus, I think he has to hit one of them.
It's got to be one or the other, right?
Well, and I mean, we've seen 100-yard games. We've seen 100-yard rushing games, receiving games. Like, it's not crazy, but I don't think he's going to do both.
Yeah, he would need to do both, score 3 touchdowns, I think, for you to have a team.
And it's versus the Rams.
I do not see him hitting 200 yards against the Rams. So.
Oh, I think he could do that against the Rams. It's just a matter of, is Tyler Algier going to cipher the touchdown?
Yes. Yeah. Well, after Bijan's exhausted from putting the team on his back the whole time.
Right. Josh, why do you say Allen can't do it this year? He won't.
Well, he couldn't get over Joe Burrow. He couldn't get over Lamar Jackson. Couldn't get over Patrick Mahomes. None of those guys are in the playoffs this year as of right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I say if he can't do it this year with the younger crop of quarterbacks coming in.
Yeah, he's the elder statesman that should be walking through these playoffs right now.
Exactly. So. That's truthfully why. Like, it's no knock on Josh Allen. It's a team game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And Sean McDermott and this front office have let him down, plain and simple.
Yep.
They gave him a wide receiver 1 in Stephon Diggs a few years ago. The offense did great. The defense still sucks. Guess who the head coach is who runs the defense? It's Sean McDermott. That's your problem. And yes, Chris, I understand Josh Allen beat Lamar Jackson last year, blah, 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 etc. Still didn't get far enough in the playoffs.
Did he beat Patrick Mahomes?
James Cook, a top 5 pick.
I think that's completely
I said he was top 5 this year.
Yeah. I have him at 11, or I have him at 11. So that is just because I do lean running back. So my first 5 picks are running backs. It's Gibb, Bajan, Achan, JT, CMC. But then I have to give the wide receivers their credit. What we saw from JSN, Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, and then I'm me, folks. So Trey McBride is my number 9 pick next season. So yeah, and I just would take all those guys over James Cook. How I did this was I made a list. I broke them into 12s, and then I played the game I play is who would I take out of these two? Okay, yeah. Who would I take out of these two? Who would I take out of these two? And so Cook fell to 11 for me. But again, James Cook, great fucking player. Do not get me wrong. Yeah. No knock on James Cook. It's just the way I draft fantasy football. So,
and I'll address this real quick, George. I saw your DMs on Discord. Just haven't had a chance to get back to you, but we'll make sure that you have a spot in the way too early mock draft next week.
Yeah.
Who lost their jobs this year? Swift, maybe? Does Kyle get shipped off somewhere?
Monungai's not going anywhere.
Monungai's going nowhere. He's on a rookie contract, a late rookie contract.
Correct. Yeah, he's on a 4-year deal. Swift, I believe, is heading into the final year of his contract. Again, I think it's really going to boil down to, Swift has played really well in this system.
Yeah.
He's another year older. Maybe they want to get a little bit younger. It's an easier out on the final year of a deal versus, the first year or the second year or whatever. And he did only sign a 3-year contract. So, this is it's the same situation that Swift ran into when Ben Johnson came to Detroit. How does he fit long-term with what Ben Johnson wants to do? Ben Johnson probably wants to get younger, which is ultimately why they moved off of Swift and went to Gibbs. If they can find an impactful running back, whether it's in this draft or free agency, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, I don't know. Maybe one of those guys fits what Ben Johnson wants to do more. I don't think Monungai is going anywhere, though.
I think the issue with what you just said, Josh, I agree, but I don't think I don't think they're going to look for a Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall type. I think they probably view Kyle Monungai as that type. It's going to be, can they find the scat back? And I don't know that they're going to find a better one, at least in free agency, than DeAndre Swift. I do see DeAndre Swift.
Breece Hall can play that scat role, though. He is a very talented receiver.
That's true, too. And then you just keep Monungai as the inside the 5s guy.
And so is Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is a baller as a receiving option.
Yeah.
They just don't use him that way.
Well, I mean, neither did Michigan State. That's just what's been weird about him his whole career. So.
And that was said about him coming out. They didn't think that he could catch the ball.
Yeah.
And I'll bring this up from Zach really quick. I don't think Jeremiah Love's going to make it to Chicago where they're drafting, buddy. No. Jeremiah Love's probably going to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Really? You guys know more about this than me. Another running back going that high.
Oh,
he is good.
Okay.
Yeah, he is good. There are a lot of people that think that Jeremiah Love probably would have been higher than Ashton Genty had they come out in the same class.
Well, I'm just going to say,
because of who they play, who Notre Dame plays, that's the biggest comparison there. But yes, Jeremiah Love is a dog.
Worst draft pick of last year's draft was Colston Loveland over these rookie running backs. That's what they should have fucking done. And then we're not even having this discussion. I think Genty was already off the board. If we're talking about Travian fucking Henderson in fucking Chicago right now, good Lord. So,
well, he would have been great for fantasy in Chicago because he would have actually got run right away.
Yeah, right.
There's that. It's just like this show has spent its days hating on Cole Kmet. He was good enough, especially for how you've decided to use Colston Loveland. Just a wild pick to me. So.
Yeah, which those stats that I laid out for DJ Moore, Colston Loveland, one of those guys with over 600 receiving yards this year, and I would not have thought that considering how up and down he's been for fantasy.
Yeah. If you're not going to use your tight end the way fucking Trey McBride was used, let's not use first-round picks on that. So
or a top 10 first-round
exactly.
pick. Like, I just don't get it.
Disagree, Ryan. Loveland looks great. Long-term solution there. There's always a running back in the draft.
I mean, there is, but there's not always a Travian Henderson type that can take 50-yard runs. Like there's Travian Henderson's only the second guy to do what he's done with these breakaway plays. And I just feel like Chicago could have used something like that. And Colston Loveland showed it for 2 games. I don't know. I'm just a tight end. I don't want to say I'm a tight end hater because I'm not. I just don't think they utilized him enough to make him worth what they paid for him, I guess is my main takeaway there. So,
All right, hour 25 in. Let's get over to Monday Night Football.
I didn't even
Talk
do
about
a
a couple
prop.
of these props that are out there. Make sure you are jumping over on the Underdog. Sign up with the code WOFF. Claim your free pick and your first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Right now, Underdog has got a 50% profit boost out there for tonight. And the Monday Night line looks like this. Rams favored by 7 against the Falcons. Over-under of 49.5. I'll give you one of my 3 picks. The rest of it will be in the Discord for y'all to enjoy. 32-20 overall on the year. 2-1 last week. 19-6 in the last 8 weeks. Yes, that's me flexing a little bit. It's pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. And with all the love that Bijan needs from all of y'all out there tonight, I'm taking Tyler Algiers over higher than 22.5 rushing yards. He's hit it 8 times this year. He's seen double-digit touches in 4 of the last 5, and I know it's playing the Rams, but Rachaad White, who favorite guy of the show, big fan of Club Fantasy. I know Josh is a fan of him. He had 38 against the Rams. He's a backup, by the way. Charbonnet had 37 and 32 versus the Rams. 22 seems like a pretty easy number for Algiers. Do you have a favorite prop there, Josh?
I do. I'm going Kirk Cousins higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. You get a little extra boost on this, 1.11. Rams have allowed a quarterback to throw 2 or more touchdowns in 4 straight games. Cousins has done it in 2 straight. Let's also not forget Kirk Cousins is playing for a starting gig next year, and he's looked better coming off of a second year removed from the Achilles injury. There's teams that are QB needy. Somebody's going to trade for Kirk Cousins if Atlanta is willing to part with him. I make this line well aware of the primetime Kirk Cousins curse here. But I think he can get it done this week.
I don't think the Falcons should trade him, and for one reason or 2 reasons, they play the Bucs twice a year.
Well, and also, Penix coming off of his own injury, like it makes sense to have that insurance policy, but
they only got to play him twice a year.
Yeah,
and he'll be 2-0 every year.
Well, but again, like if you can shed that salary, repurpose it to, fix the secondary, add some juice elsewhere, like it makes sense. But again, Falcons don't always do what makes sense. So
yeah,
Ryan, who you got?
Give me Blake Corum higher than 44.5 rushing yards. This line seems crazy low. I'm going to go ladder it as soon as we get off the show here today. This is a Rams team that is, I don't want to gently, quietly resting Kieran Williams. Like they're still using him, but it's definitely become more of a 50-50 split. We've talked about it. There's not a ton for them in this game. I think they're going to run the hell out of Blake Corum tonight, putting it bluntly. And this is an Atlanta team that gave up over 125 yards to running backs last week. This is a game where Kieran Williams and Blake Corum both get theirs. Whereas I forgot to look at it. Kieran Williams' line is 63.5 rushing yards. Blake Corum's is 44.5, and Corum has hit this in each of his last 3 games.
Well, that's part of my parlay, so we know that's not.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, sorry, Jay.
No. I didn't put the whole thing in there this time.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Looking at it like, Ryan,
I forgot to do it. I've had a crazy morning. I had to take my wife to the airport at 3 a.m. So I did the show sheet at 3 a.m. and forgot to put the underdog pick in there.
And we know we got to get the dog outside. So real quick, Ryan, is McBride the only tight end in the first 2 rounds?
Yes, I moved Brock Bowers to round 3. Yes.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I was going to say, I do think that people will probably find a way to talk themselves into Bowers as a 2nd round pick. Again, to me, it's going to boil down to what the offensive coordinator that comes in, who's going to be throwing the ball
Very
to
true.
him.
Quarterback.
But I mean, McBride has kind of separated himself, I feel like, but Bowers is still over 15 fantasy points per game at the tight end position.
Yeah.
So
I have Bowers at in round 3 middle. He could easily move into the back end of round 2. I have Kittle towards the back end of round 4. I was leery with the older guys, specifically Kittle and Devontae Adams were 2 I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with. So
Right on, right on. All right, don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe over here on YouTube. If you're on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platform, hit the follow button. You'll never miss any of our fantasy football content. Be sure to jump over in the Discord. Join us over there, just like Scott did a little bit ago. He joined us over there, so thank you for that. And man, join us Saturday. Y'all aren't doing shit tomorrow. Y'all get tomorrow off.
Tuesday off. Wednesday off.
What? What?
I don't know when
I'll be on the sneaky flex on Thursday because
Josh,
we got some gear to raffle off. So
my DFS show will drop on Friday, but that's not a live show. And then Saturday, airing of the fantasy grievances.
Josh, is there still any way that people can get into these raffles?
Absolutely. So we're raffling off our signed Drew Brees Saints jersey. You can head over to womenoffantasyfootball.com and you can get your raffle tickets there. And then we're giving away our November giveaway, which is the signed Rob Gronkowski Patriots jersey. Kev Wheeler, who runs wheelrouteff.com, who won the jersey, decided to give it away, basically. So what we're doing is we're going to be giving it away to the individual who has donated the most money throughout this Gods and Goddesses tournament that we've kind of started in August. So throughout all the raffles, the donations for the WAF Galvanized Scholarship, whole 9 yards. So whoever has the most money donated since August will win the signed Rob Gronkowski jersey. But all of that's available at womenoffantasyfootball.com. You can also go to @women_FF. The pinned tweet will take you right over to the Drew Brees jersey. All the raffle tickets are $5. It all goes towards the charity for December is Voice in Sport. So another women-centric charity. So it's a lot of good stuff that we're doing there.
I need to find out what that number's at for the Rob Gronkowski jersey. That way I can.
Wouldn't you like to know, Jay?
Although it's more than likely a New England jersey, so that's fine too. Join us on Saturday where we do we call it the airing of fantasy grievances, but it's kind of like an explosion of our show from Monday.
It's just
it really is. Come join us at 11 o'clock on Saturday. We'll talk about the players who frustrated this season, the guys we drafted, underdelivered rather, the guys who went off against us and cost us the championship, fantasy managers who frustrate us. We put it all on the table. It is the ultimate therapy session to clear our conscience and clean the slate as we head into 2026. This was an absolute blast all year. Ryan, Josh, thank you so much for being part of this and allowing me to kind of steer the ship, as they say. But you guys are fucking phenomenal. Great co-host, great people. And I'm glad you at least won a championship this year. Thank God I wasn't playing against you.
I did not win a championship. I suck.
No, you did. We have all of these listeners, all of these viewers that have won multiple championships, and it's because they listened to something you said. Whether they did exactly what you said or did the exact opposite, it's because of you.
Yeah, right. Jay, before you sign off really quick, I do want to throw this in the chat one more time. The link to our Discord. We are doing our way too early mock draft for 2026 on next Monday's show at 11 a.m. Our invites are going to go out first in our Discord. So for everybody that's in the chat, that tells me you guys are available at 11 a.m. If you would like to draft with us, get in that Discord so that way you have easy access.
There's a mock draft channel in the Discord, and that's where I always
mock draft channel in the Discord. So link up with us in there. You'll have first dibs on the mock draft link.
And we will be doing mock drafts throughout the offseason.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's exactly where they will go first. You will get first option there. And Big Easy Gio just joined us over there as well. So we appreciate that as well. Yep, there he is. Just joined the Discord. Very nice. Anything left to say for the audience at all, guys? I appreciate you guys.
What a ride. I mean, Mondays are so fun because it's just venting with everybody and celebrating. And so we appreciate everybody who's tuned in. We appreciate the 1,800 followers, and we'll be back with you guys starting week 1 next season.
Absolutely. Y'all enjoy, and we will see you Saturday.